Welcome to In Edina, a program about the people, places, and activities in the city of Edina. I'm your host, Lillian McDonald, and we're bringing you this broadcast from Edina High School. We have a lot to talk about coming up in this next school year. We're going to start with the brand new Activities Director, Jenny Johnson. Thanks so much for joining us, Jenny.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. Congratulations on your new role.
Thanks. I am so excited to get started and just learn the ropes and do whatever I can to take us to a higher level.
Well, now you're learning the ropes, but not really, because you've been here for, what, 15 years?
Yep. This will be my 15th year or 14th year. They all gets kind of blurry as they add up. But previously I was a math teacher for 12 years and then served as the Dean of Students, and last year was the interim assistant principal, and then was fortunate enough to get the Activities Director position that opened up with Steve Dove's retirement.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about the role of the Activities Director.
Well, it's changed. Previously it was the athletic department, now it's the activities department. And I will be overseeing, or our department will be overseeing, not only athletics, but all of the fine arts, every co-curricular clubs. We're looking to oversee student council. Any activity this high school has, it's under our umbrella.
Well, there's dozens of activities here at Edina High School, and it's actually kind of important, too, to make the distinction that the name is changing from an emphasis on athletics to an emphasis on activities. Talk about why that's important.
Well, I think it's a wonderful change because the other activities in the school, we're talking about band, choir, orchestra, all the theater productions, all the clubs which would feature robotics, debate, mock trial. If a student wants to start a club, whether it be a board game club after school, they come to our department, and those activities haven't had someone to oversee and kind of help them out management-wise, support-wise, publicity-wise. Students haven't really had a venue to go or a place to go to say, you know what, I'm really interested in doing this. Is there a way we could create something like this in our school? And now they do.
And that's important because activities play a key role in the development of student life.
Well, in my opinion, I think the more students are involved in something in school, the better they're going to do. The more well-behaved they're going to be. And it seems like, I don't know if there's a scientific study out there, but it sure seems like when kids are involved, they budget their time better because they know they need, if I want to be a part of this, I have to get my homework done here and I need to make sure I do it. There's less procrastination. And I think overall there's more of a sense of ownership in our school and the direction we're going, and more pride to wear the green and white and to represent Edina that way. And so clearly, activities have been a huge part of my life, and it helped me become, the person I am today. And I think, as many kids as can be involved, the better we're going to be.
And that's really important because it has been documented that involvement in activities in school and adult life, frankly,
Yep.
reduces absenteeism, and it enhances relationships, and that's so important, especially for teenagers right now.
Well, and I don't think, and if there's a new student coming to Edina, or incoming sophomores to our high school, there's no better way to meet other kids and build the relationships you just mentioned than by being in an activity. And most of our activities leaders preach chemistry. They preach how important it is to have a team that gets along, and there might be some things that someone on your team or someone else in the band might bug you for some reason, but you have to kind of get over those because you need to work together to put out the best production or performance or game that you possibly can.
Well, I know this is a new position for you, and you've hardly gotten started here coming up in the school year, but some of the things you may be looking forward to, or some of the challenges that you may foresee in this new role of yours.
Well, I think, immediately the thing that comes to my mind is just the vastness of the job, and trying to make sure that every single activity and every single student and every single faculty member and parent and community member feels like we're serving them and doing what we're supposed to do.
The students, though, must give you a lot of energy.
Well, I wouldn't be in education if it wasn't for the students. When I was teaching, it was all about them, and the math curriculum is wonderful and it's great to teach that, but without laughing in class and building the relationship with the kids, it wouldn't have been enjoyable for me or as rewarding. Then when I became the Dean of Students and the assistant principal in that kind of more of a disciplinarian type role, I was worried about not having those same relationships, and And it's maybe a different kid that you see more often, but you do have the same, maybe even a deeper relationship that you develop, and you really see that you're helping kids. And now in this role, that was one of the things I really thought about. How much contact am I going to have with the students here? Well, basically I can have as much as I want.
Well, good.
And so I'm hoping to be able to create, leadership opportunities for kids, establish, some new opportunities. Yeah,
good.
And really be kind of a hands-on activities director.
Well, talking about some hands-on activities, we want to take a minute and talk a little bit about the tennis team this year, because we do have a couple of players that are returning and hoping to bring on another state title. Joining us now, Megan Gard and Evelyn Warner. They're co-captains for the girls tennis team. Thanks for joining us on Edina.
Thank you.
We wanted to spotlight one of the many activities that you're participating in, and it's tennis this year. And we're looking at an 11th title if it happens.
That's right.
How do you make that happen?
I think we all have just the common goal to win that 11. So we come to practice every day, put our mind to it, and push each other to succeed. So
now, Ms. Johnson is talking about the importance of a variety of activities. You're involved in many activities, including tennis. Would you agree that it's important to be involved in many activities?
Yeah, definitely.
And not just athletics?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Keeps you balanced, I think.
Now, you're both seniors coming up, and how do you get new players to be as enthused about a state title as some of the old players who've already been there?
Well, we come to practice every day, and it's all about having fun is like our main thing we do, and we really don't focus on the pressure of it and everything. It's just we all come and we have the same goal, as Megan said.
So
It's the
if
same thing.
you lose a match, it's not going to bum you out. You rally behind it to make it happen.
That's right. And I think people just kind of know about us and they want to be a part of such a cool thing.
Yeah, a lot of state titles.
That's
That's
right.
great.
Yeah.
25 in the overall
Yep.
Yeah.
history here at Edina High School. Well, we wish you the best of luck this season. Win or lose, we're going to be behind you all the way.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much for joining us. And we really want to thank all of the students here at Edina High School for being involved in activities. It makes the school what it is every single day. Jenny Johnson, good luck on your new role. We really appreciate all of you for being here on In Edina. Well, we have the honor of bringing this program to you from a newly remodeled high school in Edina, and we're in a brand new science lab, and we're visiting with the new principal this year, Dr. Bruce Locklear. Thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Congratulations on your new
Thank
role.
you. That's very exciting.
New school, but not really new role for you.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about your history.
Well, I was a social studies teacher in Rosemont, Minnesota, and I taught there for about 10 years. And then I entered administration, and my most previous principalship was at Blaine High School. And Blaine is a very large metro high school, and I left there and was a superintendent for 3 years in Owatonna. And for the last 5 years, I've been at Delano High School.
And your wife is also in education.
My wife is in education. She is a professor of mathematics.
And you have two daughters.
And I have two daughters.
Great.
My oldest daughter is a sophomore at Georgetown College, and my youngest daughter will be a junior at Delano High School.
And of course, you didn't want to shift gears in the middle of her high school years.
Very difficult decision.
It's tough to do.
It was a long family process, and we talked about it, and she came and visited, and she said, Edina's great, but I just don't wish to move in the middle of my high school career. I'm in soccer and dance and track and National Honor Society and all those wonderful
well,
things.
You get the best of both worlds now.
I think so.
And we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
And you come from the South. We should just let people know.
Yes.
You're not a Midwestern.
Not southern Minnesota.
Right.
I was born and raised in the Carolinas, avid Tar Heel fan. So
That's too bad.
I know.
Well, you're also an Edina fan, though, too.
Yes, a huge Edina fan.
And there's a
now.
lot to look forward to this year with the newly remodeled school.
What an exciting time.
It is huge.
I mean, you walk into the school itself, and it's just absolutely breathtaking. And the reputation Edina has across the state is second to none. So it's definitely a great place to be.
Well, you've earned your position here, and I'm sure you'll be earning your keep as well with the students and the staff and the parents in our community. What are some of the things you want to do in the first part of the year? One of the things that you mentioned to me as we were getting ready for our talk today was you're going to visit all of the teachers in their classrooms.
Well, it's critical to get to know people and build relationships. So during my first 3 months, I will try to be in every classroom for a brief visit and meet teachers and talk to students along the way. and just learn more about the culture of education at the high school. Secondly, I would like to meet with seniors in small groups. Probably by the beginning of January I should have that done, just to get an idea of their vision and their take on Edina High School, what it is, and more importantly, what it should become.
And you want to talk to folks in the community as well,
yes,
and you'll be all around for that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of important because, you know, the school is a focal point, and you want to build your mission and your vision and your work plan from those inventories.
Well, absolutely. The integration of the high school into the community is a critical piece. It is a major part of the community and hopefully represents many positive things for the community.
Any challenges you see on the horizon?
Oh, there are always challenges in public education. We're being asked to educate students for a future that does not exist yet. And so we're spending a lot of time truly analyzing what it is that we are good at doing and where we need to improve, and we're talking about how we get there. And the mission piece is so critical here because we are responsible for a huge task, educating kids. But it's a fun task.
And you have 1,700 students here?
1,700 students,
And
yes.
about 85?
About 85 staff members.
Okay. And then and part-time support staff too?
Yes.
And you can't do it alone
No.
as a leader?
We have been so lucky. We have an administrative team here that is second to none. Mary Manderfeld and Eric Nelson and Jenny Johnson, who is our new activities director, Heidi Howard. It's just a great team to build around. So we're very excited.
How do you get folks involved? I mean, it's the same old school,
Yeah.
and you've got a big tradition here at Edina. How do you get folks to really care and take inventory and get it, you know, and stay behind it, a strong reputation?
That's a great question. One of the first things that we did in our arrival to Edina, we wanted to get student leaders engaged, and we identified about 65 students, and we held the first ever Edina Leadership Academy. And it went from 10 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon, and we spent a lot of time talking about where we are as a school, where we wish to be, but more importantly, how we get there. And it was a vision casting process, and it was just so energizing. And the students were excited about it, so we're meeting with them monthly just to make sure that the mission that they developed for this high school holds true. Now when we get our staff back in, we will begin to integrate the mission of the students with the mission of the staff. And hopefully we will have everyone going in the same direction.
Now I want to take a look back for those alums who might be taking a look at you too, and they're coming back to their school. How do you bring them into the picture?
Oh, that's a critical piece as well. You can only move as far forward as you can by keeping people engaged with that history piece.
Yeah.
The tradition of Edina High School is so rich, and by simply communications with them, having them be engaged, the homecoming events, the alumni associations, and we ask questions of everyone in the community. And we spend time, and hopefully our students represent our people in our community in terms of their belief structure. So that's how we keep them engaged.
Well, you've got a tall order, but you really seem like you're plugged in and up for it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Dr. Locklear.
Thank you.
Have a great school year.
Yes, thanks.
Well, probably one of the toughest jobs in any school is leadership, and we're relying on a group of students to handle just that here at Edina High School, and of course, it's the Student Council. And joining us now to talk about that is Jack Jorgensen, he's the president. We have Anna Groth, secretary, and Elizabeth Schelsey, who's the vice president. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to talk a little bit about your roles this year. You do have some particular objectives you want to cover. And let's just start with you. You want to talk to us a little bit about taking care of the new school that we have.
Well, we're really lucky to have the new school. We're really excited about all the new facilities. And I think one of the things we really want to encourage is kids to just keep it clean and to keep it really nice and new. And so we're really going to try to encourage people to respect the school. And we take pride in our school. We're pretty excited about it. So
that's a tough task to get everybody on board to to clean up and to step up.
We have a group of people who's kind of going to try to enforce, and they're from a lot of different groups. They're leaders from all their activities. So we're hoping that we can just get everyone really excited about it.
And how do you handle somebody who just doesn't want to follow the rules?
Well, it's kind of hard, but
carefully.
Yes, definitely.
Great. Anna, school spirit?
Yep, I think it's huge here at Edina. We have a huge group of activities, a wide range. We have a robotics team. We have a bunch of sports. We have a debate team. I think we have one of the most diverse schools in terms of activities here at Edina. And
that's part of the role of the student council
Yep.
here, is to organize all of these activities.
Yep.
Is it a pet fest you have every year?
Yeah, we have about 3 pet fests each year. It's just getting everyone from all groups of the school involved.
Which supports the school spirit, get
Yep.
involved. But you also do service projects, which are also vital to the community.
Yep, we do a few service projects each year. We do a food drive, we do a toy drive, and a blood drive. We just get everyone motivated about helping serve in the community.
Well, that's important too,
Yeah.
because we need that student power
Yeah.
to sort of handle those projects
Yeah,
in the community.
it's fun.
That's great.
We really like it.
So take care of the newly remodeled school spirit,
Yeah.
and somebody has to be the liaison
Yep,
between the
that's-
students and
yeah.
the principal and
Yeah.
the staff.
One of the main jobs of student council is to bridge the gap between the administration, the staff, and the students. And our role on student council specifically is more to kind of push for what the students want, while at the same time recognizing the interests of the other groups.
That's really tight. I mean, let's just take an example. Let's talk about technology, for instance. There's a huge gap in technology and understanding.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
talking about a generation gap
Yeah,
here.
definitely. We were just talking with Dr. Locklear, the new principal, and he said that there's almost a 20-year gap between our generation and the next generation in technology, and that is one of the main issues that, I guess, public high schools all over the country are facing. And as a student council member, I think it is our job to try to bridge that gap and connect the students, the staffs, and the administration.
Get everybody plugged in
Yeah.
whether we're talking about taking care of the school, come to an activity, handle a crisis, or some
Yeah.
technology situation that's going on. Well, listen, thank you so much for your leadership.
Yep, thank
we
you.
know it's a tough job, but we really appreciate your willingness to be role models in our community and here at Edina High School. And congratulations this year.
Thanks.
Seniors.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, clearly there's a lot to look forward to at Edina High School and all of the Edina schools this year. And joining us to talk about some of the new things that are happening on the east side of the campus is Valerie Burke. She's the coordinator of the Edina Resource Center, but you're coordinating the open house as your role as a member of the Hats Off Edina team, right?
Right, one of the team that's putting on the Hats Off Edina East Side.
All right. Thanks a lot for being with us on In Edina. We looked at the west side last spring. There was clearly a lot to look at then, but now we have something new on the east side and several sites. Can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to see?
Sure. The committee's talking about 3 entrances because it is a big area. There is the Southview Middle School, which houses a brand new pool and diving well. It's named after Art Downey, our beloved coach of 50 years. Also, the Dr. Ken Dragseth Wing, which is after our superintendent, who was part of our Edina schools for 30 plus years.
Those are nice tributes.
Yeah, nice space is new auditorium, which can be used by the students, of course, love the plays, et cetera, but also by the community. There'll also be an entrance at the door 3 to the Community Education Center, and you will walk into the Welcome Center, which is my new home, where the Edina Resource Center and student registration is. Third entrance will be up on the south parking lot. Got to get my directions right. Walking into Normandale Elementary. It's a French immersion school. Again, has an auditorium space that can be used by the public. And so, not to mention the 2 new city gyms, one that's attached to the sort of the Normandale space and one that's attached down by Southview Middle School. Wonderful blending of way to use land here in a community
Building
like
and
ours.
space, yeah. So this is all the East Campus revisions and the remodeling, and you're having the open house on October 14th from 2 to 4. And should people show up at one entrance or all entrances, or where should they go to get started?
The 3 logical entrances, I believe, and I hate to be nailed there completely because there will be information coming in print, coming in over
Websites,
emails,
and you're still
et
planning
cetera.
it, I know.
But it will be Normandale entrance, Southview entrance, and door 3. And there'll be people at each one of those to kind of tour people around. We're also, John Keprios from the city has been talking about working with the golf club to get some golf carts.
Yeah.
Because we realize it's a lot of space to cover.
It's
there's
a
going
free
to be,
event, and you had 1,000 people come to the spring event, the spring open house for the west side. So you're expecting at least that for the east side.
Yeah, the day worked really well. We weren't sure about a Sunday. It was a nice afternoon. I think people sometimes are out around on Sundays. We were really, really happy about the way the west side open house, and we hope that we have an equal amount or more coming.
Well,
to
you
the east
probably
side.
will, especially some alums as well, since it's on homecoming weekend. So there'll be a lot to look at, a lot of activities. You know what's interesting is this is a suburb that's been around for a long time, but you touched on this earlier, talking about the integration of existing space. It's not like you can just run out and buy new building space. You really have to be creative in how you blend things together. And you're talking about students and members of the community.
Right. We are extremely fortunate here. I've worked in a few different communities, and the way the city and the school district partner brainstorm together, work together to try to figure out the best use of space, the best use of our tax dollar is just phenomenal. And this, I think, is wonderful because the explosion of kids' athletics, particularly with girls and boys sports, new sports like lacrosse, et cetera, we need the space and we needed to be able to use it in a more efficient manner. One of the other big highlights of this is Coleman Field, which is our football field, but they re-turfed it. And so now that field can be used, I hate to say 24/7 because I'm sure the athletic people would kill me, but it can be used all the time. You're not going to hurt it, and that's been a huge addition for many of our athletic associations.
Well, we'll get a chance to walk in the field, check out all the new sites when the East Campus Open House happens on October 14th from 2 to 4. Free event,
free
walking tour and a riding tour to boot. Thank you so much for putting together.
Really nice to be here. Thanks for the opportunity to plug the event.
You're very welcome.
Okay, good.
Well, school is about education, but there's also a business angle to this whole project. And joining us to talk about funding education in the city of Edina are Peyton Robb, the chair of the school board, and Rick Dressen, superintendent of the district. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here.
We appreciate it.
Thanks for the interest.
It's not always an easy topic to talk about because, everybody wants to hang on to their money, but we have a referendum coming up in November, and we want to let voters know what's going on and why. So let's talk about that. Rick, let me start with you. As the superintendent of the school district, referendums are important. It's an important part of making things work.
It really is part of education. I mean, 85% of the school districts in the state of Minnesota have an operating levy. And an operating levy provides funding to operate the schools. Now, this is different than a bond levy, which was passed not too many years back to help improve our school facilities. So we're looking at an operating levy, which will help provide funding so that we can support what's going on in the classrooms. It's all about how we can make sure we have good, strong class sizes and that we get the curriculum that we need, the technology we need for our kids to be successful.
Yeah, it's easy when you see a building, like we've seen this building that we're sitting in right now and many other school buildings in the district, see changes, tangible changes to the classrooms, the building itself, gyms, fields, et cetera, supporting the work that's done. But that intangible, that learning, is what you're talking about with this particular referendum.
That's correct. And it's a relationship piece. I mean, we are seeking additional support from the community to invest funds into our schools. Then we have to make sure we use those dollars wisely. And the school district has a long history of being very fiscally responsible. And so our commitment is to remain fiscally responsible, that we generate those dollars, they get into the classroom where it's going to make a difference with student learning.
Of course, we can measure results academically. I mean, if our students aren't doing well in school, funding is clearly a part of that picture too, right?
Correct. Basically, if the funding's not there, we have to do things that we don't really want to do, which would be typically maybe raise class sizes, which parents value a low class size. So there's a direct correlation between the funding and the way we deliver our education.
What are the class sizes right now?
Well, we're in our averages, again, they bounce around a little bit, but our elementary really try to keep them in the low 20s and to the mid 20s. Our middle school's in that mid 20 and our high school's in that high 20 range. So they're very competitive, but they have to be because we have high expectations of our students and we have high expectations of the performance that we're going to provide, through the education process.
How much is this referendum coming up in November?
It's in that $12 million range. We're still finalizing those numbers, but as we look forward to it, that's what we plan to take.
So the vote is November 6th. Now, it wouldn't be fair for me to sit here and say, hey, listen, it's easy to fund schools, right? It's not. It's not easy for taxpayers to fund schools. So let me ask the hard question, and that is why is an easy answer, but what do you say to those who don't have children in the district, or maybe they've already raised their children in the district, and it's just not necessary maybe in their minds, or maybe, you know, affording it is an issue too. What do you say to them?
Well, we can speak to what schools really deliver to the community. The number one reason people move to Edina from both city surveys and school district surveys is for the education system. So they want a top-notch education system, and that's what we want to deliver to them. So
it's a selling point for the community as a whole, which is a reflection on your property values as well.
Absolutely. Basically, if we don't pass the operating levy, then we're looking at class size increases potentially, and being less competitive with our surrounding districts, less competitive with private schools, and a lot of our population has the ability to move their kids. So the net effect is that it won't be as desirable place to move, and it could affect your home value.
And you might not see that today or tomorrow or soon after the vote, but it's that long-term effect when you're talking about an investment in a community.
And this community has had just a strong tradition of supporting young people by giving their time, their talent, and now we're asking for the resources of funds. And it's a tough, we respect that. I mean, there are lots of issues and challenges.
Especially since you just funded the remodeling of so many buildings, and now you're saying, well, we need more. Well, and that's a hard thing to hear.
It is, and yet, again, we are going to make sure we take every dollar that we receive and put it where it's going to impact learning, and we've done that. We've reduced expenditures where we can. I mean, we reduced expenditures this current school year by $600,000, and none of those dollars came from classroom because we wanted to make sure the students had that quality learning going on in the classroom.
And in this climate of the market right now, I know you're trying to be very careful because it's unpredictable. So we have to be mindful of the system all the way around. And you know what? We know it takes money to make things happen. So I wish you both the best of luck. What we really need is voter turnout, right?
That's
correct.
Are you
concerned about that at all in an off year?
No, because this community is very interested in community. You know, I think we do. We are going to make sure they can get information and places they can go to get information. We'll make sure they can make an informed vote, and that's really what we're looking for.
Great. Check on the website for the City of Edina, school websites as well. Get out the vote November 6th.
Thank you.
Good luck on the referendum.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being on In Edina. We sure have enjoyed bringing you this broadcast from Edina High School. We especially want to thank our students, staff, administrators, and many others who support this school and our community. I'm your host, Lillian McDonald. You've been watching In Edina. Until next time, have a great day.